So, I went to bed last night, around a reasonable time for a change, 10:30 p.m. or so. Woke up this morning at like 6:45. A touch early for my taste, but I poked around online for a little bit before I got tired again and went back to sleep. Not because I should have, but probably because I was just too lazy to have something for breakfast. I don't care if it's the most important meal of the day, Doc. It's still the one I dislike most. Anyway, I got up around 10 a.m. and caved to hunger like a sensible human being, then started scripting this video after food. I shouldn't be wasting time like this for a Beyond the Basics video, though, so let's get on with it. Today, I'll be talking about another game mechanic that people seem to have difficulty wrapping their heads around, or even acknowledging exists in the worst cases: missing the timing. What is missing the timing? For the most part, it's just an extension of the basic game rule that you cannot activate effects in the middle of a resolving chain or event. This interferes with optional trigger effects the most, since the trigger for an optional trigger effect needs to be the last event to occur to claim the effect of the card in question. They are not allowed to wait. If the card met its trigger in the middle of a resolving chain or event, you cannot activate it. You missed the timing. This concept dates back to when Woodland Sprite was introduced to the game. It would have created some nasty burn loops with other cards, so they split the sprite's effect into two parts, to justify not being able to activate the effects of the cards that otherwise would have caused these loops. To put this in perspective, let's compare the concept of missing the timing to a real-life scenario. Say an ice cream truck is running around your neighborhood. Yay! Upon hearing it, you rush to find your wallet and pull out the amount of money you would need to buy something. Then you go outside, only to realize the truck is now long gone, leaving the neighborhood as you sit there teary-eyed. An event occurred, you met the requirement to benefit from said event, but you couldn't do it due to time constraints. For those of you who are sitting there whining that missing the timing makes zero intuitive sense, it does. Because shut up. See the aforementioned example. Anyway, on to the Yu-Gi-Oh! Examples, since that's why you're all here. I hope. Number 1. Player A summons Dimensional Alchemist. Neither player negates this summon, so he then chooses to use his priority to activate the effect of Dimensional Alchemist to remove the top card of his deck from play to buff Alchemist's attack. Player B responds to this successful summon, chaining Torrential Tribute to the effect of Alchemist. Resolve backwards. Player B's Torrential Tribute destroys all monsters on the field. Player A's Dimensional Alchemist removes the top card of their deck from play, but since the card itself is no longer on the field, it doesn't gain any attack. Player A never got a chance to activate the other effect of Dimensional Alchemist that allows him to return a monster from the RFG zone to his hand when the Alchemist is destroyed and sent to the graveyard. The trigger occurred, but he couldn't activate the effect in the middle of a resolving chain. He missed the timing. Number 2. Player A synchro summons Iron Chain Dragon using Debris Dragon and Cross Porter as synchro materials. Player A never got a chance to activate the effect of his Cross Porter to add a Neospacian from his deck to his hand. The trigger occurred, but he couldn't activate it in the middle of summoning a monster. He missed the timing. Number 3. Player A activates the effect of Substitoad, tributing Poison Draw Frog as the cost. He then summons a Death Frog from his deck. Player A never got the chance to activate the effect of his Poison Draw Frog to draw a card when it's sent to the graveyard outside of battle. The trigger occurred, but he couldn't activate it since it was for the sake of fulfilling a cost. Never mind it not being the last event to occur. He missed the timing. Hopefully you all have a decent handle on this mechanic now. I could provide more examples, but this video would have just ended up being terribly lengthy for no real reason. Keeping things simple is the best when trying to explain something like this anyway. Oh yeah, funny story. I was watching episode 11 of Nyan Koi last night when this came up. Oh man. You sure did, Junpei. You sure did. Yes, this coincidence with the subtitles brought out my inner Yugi nerd and drove me to making this video. Which I hope you enjoyed, by the way. And more importantly, I hope you learned something from it. Get out there with your newfound knowledge of the game and win some duels. Later.